Hey guys, hope you're having a good day. All right, so let's check in. What has been going on? Man, the energy has been intense. Yes, I always say that, but it's true. There are so many bits of clarity and so much of your past that's kind of unlocking at this time. You might not really understand it at a logical level, but if you kind of go into it and you kind of analyze it a little bit, or you kind of look at it and reflect, you're going to see a lot of what's coming up now. Like all of the emotions and the stuff that's coming up now relates to the past. Some of you, it's like a review of the past. So you can see how much you've grown and changed, but also so you can keep integrating some of those like lessons and the tools and stuff that you learned. I definitely get a lot of tests are coming up right now. So for people who are at the end of the cycle, you're probably getting triggered more, or you're having a lot more like tests coming up where you're hearing things or you're seeing things that are kind of the opposite of like your intuition or what spirit's kind of shown you or what you know. And I know for me, I'm just going to explain it how it is for me, so if it relates to you, you'll understand how it is for you. For me, like a lot of times I will see, is this true or not? If I talk, I can feel the resistance from it when I talk, or I can just feel kind of the energy. I can feel into the energy of stuff to see if it's true or not. Sometimes I'll ask, but most of the time I can just feel into the energy. And lately I can't. So lately what's been happening is the thought or fear or whatever will come up, and what works, what used to work doesn't work anymore. So I have to kind of go into it, and sometimes it's to release trauma or to see something different, or sometimes it's like you already know the fucking answer, so even though you're feeling this way, like trust what you know. So Spirit actually just did this to me, and afterward I was like, I'm not fucking falling for that shit. Like normally I'd listen to other people sometimes, and like it would trigger like my old fears or my traumas, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that shit today. And I was like, you guys were testing me, weren't you, like after the fact? And I'm like, definitely. But it's like you already know the answer. You don't have to feel the energy to actually know something's true. It's the same thing like when somebody's like not treating you good, you don't need to feel the energy or the intuition in your body something's wrong. Like you already know it's wrong. Like we don't always have to go into that, because sometimes we can just see it's wrong, and we're sometimes blocked from feeling energy the way it actually is, for a reason, as we're going through lessons. And I don't mean anything like nothing bad's gonna happen to you. I don't mean like your intuition's gonna be blocked. Like, no, if something's, wrong, like they will tell you. But if you're supposed to go into a lesson, you're not always going to feel the energy, good or bad, from it. So it's important to also look at, like, does this align with what I want? Does this align with, like, who I am, what my values are, what I need, and stuff like that, and not always falling back into kind of questioning, like, well, I don't feel this, or I do feel this. Like, also, like, look at, is this actually in alignment with what I want, or is it not? It's the same thing like a friendship, relationships in general. It's like, maybe this person isn't a bad person. Maybe they do or don't have, good or bad intentions. Like, you might not be able to feel energetically either way. Do they align with, like, what you actually like? Like, do they communicate with you? Like, do they give you what you need? Like, is there some type of, like, mutual reciprocity there? Or is it, like, the opposite, and kind of seeing what your needs are. And I think a lot of people are having some of these triggers or these things that are kind of being blocked from you seeing it, so you can actually see what your needs are, see what your desires are, but also at a deeper level seeing where those come from. Are they actual true needs and desires, or is it trauma that you're trying to heal? So you're kind of starting to see that too. A lot of it also is trusting. I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but it all kind of relates. A lot of it's also trusting your intuition and being patient. I feel like, sorry, I've got a lot of energy coming in right now. Jesus Christ. This came up yesterday. I actually I've been typing all these big ass long things in my notes, and Spirit's not having me post them right now for whatever reason. But I was talking about this yesterday. I posted a little bit about it on like Instagram and Facebook, the post like in the caption part of it. If you want something, okay, and it's something you truly want, and you can feel it's meant for you, okay? But even if you can't feel it's meant for you, if it's something you actually truly want and it's good for you, why are we as a collective in this rush, throwaway mentality? If we don't get it when we want it or how we want it right now, then we're leaving it and we're going to find it elsewhere. But when you're looking elsewhere, like, are you actually getting it? And it's like, and if you're willing to throw it away, is it something you actually really wanted? Because if it's there's a difference between like say a relationship, like where like you want to have kids and the person that like you're talking to doesn't want to have kids and they're like deal breakers and you really want to have kids. It's totally different than a situation like that where just shit isn't aligned, and it's like you could love that person but be like, okay, we want two different things and you having kids is just super important to you. Totally different. That's not the type of stuff I'm talking about, because whatever. I'm talking about where it's like waiting for things and being patient. Perfect example, the crystal store. Everybody knows I've been wanting a bigger store. Spirit's energetically preparing me. We're all being energetically prepared for like that soul mission, that soul path, the soul purpose, right? The heart's desire, what we actually want. But my thing is, it's like, okay, well, I'm not uncomfortable in the small space anymore, but I was a while ago before I started going into it and understanding why. And it's like, should I just go to a bigger place temporarily so I don't have to sit in the discomfort of waiting? So I don't have to sit in the discomfort of being, patient? Because in the process of being patient, I'm preparing for what I need. I'm releasing, fears. I'm releasing doubts. I'm releasing other things that I'm going to need, like other tools and, hold on, let me rephrase that. I'm releasing perceptions, belief systems, things like that, so I can actually open myself up to what I actually need for the bigger store, because obviously we have more responsibility. I'm going to have to hire people, things that I don't necessarily do very well with working with others or having somebody come into my business, because there's fears of, certain things and stuff. So it's like, sure, could I have, temporarily found a bigger place? Is it going to take all those feelings away that I had? Nope. So it's like, sit in the discomfort, stop trying to rush. And like, I think a lot of times, like as a collective, we kind of have this rush mentality and we give up on what we truly want, which to me is a sabotaging thing anyway, but we give up on what we really want. And it's actually funny because I typed this big ass long thing up and I watched The Bachelorette yesterday, so don't judge. But I know it's stupid, but I still like watching it. So anyway, if you watch the show, it was very obvious. I know reality TV is bullshit, but to me, I can actually feel the energy. It's very obvious these two actually really loved each other. I really think they're actually soulmates, and I'm like hoping they get back together. But, okay, hold on. Like, there's a point with this, I swear. This energy is just like fucking distracting the shit out of me right now. Anyway, so she basically had him leave, like only because he didn't want to get engaged at the end of the show, even though he said like he wanted to make things work in the real world and all this stuff. And he's being very logical and very like, I'm here for you, I'm supporting you. He's giving her what she needs. She very clearly has feelings for him. He very clearly has feelings for her. The way she describes him, you can just tell. And but she was like, all she cared about at the end was getting an engagement. And so I was talking to my friend, and my friend's like, yeah, I think she's worried about like being embarrassed and stuff. And I was like, yeah, but see, the point with that is, you having an engagement at the end is more important than being patient with the person you actually love and want to be with. And see, like that, I think as a society is kind of the problem because we want that. But the reason you want the engagement is so you can have the security and validation that you're lovable, that you're worthy, that somebody chooses you. And it's underlying trauma. And then online, everybody's just shit talking the fuck out of her. And I'm like, you guys realize like she's a human. She has like insecurities. She's expressed it pretty much the whole fucking show. Like it's pretty obvious when she keeps making certain comments, like has a lot of insecurities and like trust issues and fears and a lot of different things. And it's like, why are you attacking her? Like we should be more open to understanding people and stop attacking them so much. But I feel like the people attacking her are probably people who've done the same shit as her and they just don't really consciously realize it. And that's because we'll push things away that we actually want, because it might seem like, oh, it's an engagement, because to her, she's needing that validation and comfort to know like he loves her and wants to be with her. But in reality, he's telling her and showing her in the exact way that probably is healthy for her. And it's like she can't handle that, so she sabotages and runs away. And a lot of people don't realize they do that. There's usually two different groups. It's like the fear group, and they're like, I know what I want, but I'm scared of it leaving or getting hurt or whatever it is. So they run away or they push it away or they put the walls up, usually the avoidant energy. And the anxious energy usually kind of comes in. And it's as soon as like this person gives them the love, gives them the attention, gives them whatever they're wanting, they get uncomfortable, they get scared, they look for problems, and they fucking run. But then the other person runs and then they come back. It's like this big fucking thing. Yeah, so I forgot the point. I forgot the point I was getting at. I just like completely blanked. Yeah, it's about sitting in your shit. That's the point I was getting at. It's about sitting in your shit and stop running away from shit because it's not here right now. Stop thinking it's not going to come for you because it's not here right now. Like if you're not ready to receive it and you're not ready to accept it, you can't have it because you're going to run away from it or you're going to push it away. And you're being prepared right now for what you actually want. So try to like be a little bit more patient. Try to trust in your internal knowing. Try to like go through all this because you're releasing things like blockages and walls and, you know, perceptions and fears and all kinds of other shit that like is preventing this from happening. And if you had visions or you had other things that were shown to you, they were shown to you ahead of time to help kind of push you forward toward that, you know, situation or person or whatever it is. So, all right. I don't know what is with the energy. I was like chill, and then like a little while ago, I got like this, not a little while ago, like right before I went to do this, I was like, oh, I gotta do a reading for some reason. And then like I started getting hit with this energy, and what happens is like I feel like I'm not out of breath, but I feel like out of breath because it's like either it will come in like my stomach area and it will feel almost just like so much air and I'm bloated, or like all this air here. So it's just like it feels harder to breathe, even though I can breathe perfectly fine, but I feel like out of breath. It's like fucking annoying. Oh shit, hold on, the card just flew. Listen, didn't that card come out last time? Oof. They're like, why are you guys not listening to the messages? Oh, we're only getting 2 cards from this. We got listen and release. With the listen card, I'm getting like, get out of your head and your ego so much and listen to your heart. This kind of feels like for the feminine, more so than anything, is listen to your heart. Like, you know what you want, you know what you deserve. Keep giving it to yourself, okay? Keep giving it to yourself. With the release card, it feels like the masculine's actually shedding some type of old way of living, believing, doing, perception, something. It feels like they're almost like at the end, like if we're looking, because they're showing me like a butterfly, if we're looking like at the butterfly, like you can see the chrysalis, right? It's a chrysalis, I think. You can see the chrysalis, you can see the butterfly formed in it, and it's like they're about to come out of that. So you're about to see like a big shift, I think, with the masculines in the reality around you, like in person, I mean. In person, I think it's as the feminines are shifting into their heart, and trusting their intuition is helping the masculine kind of come out of wherever he's been. They wanted me to read the bottom cards. Yeah, just breathe. Hold on. Sometimes I just need a deep breath. We got blossom, clarity of belief, moving on. Holy shit, hold on. We are doing some masculine feminine today. They're like literally laughing. This is probably why they wanted me to do this. I was going to say, like, sorry I'm chaotic and all over the place, but I can't really help it. Sometimes, like, when I have the shifts going on, it goes from, like, one energy or emotion to another, to another, to another, and I'm just like, can we, like, ground and chill for a second? With this moving on card, actually, this feels like a really good thing. It feels like you guys are seeing, like, clearly, or you're getting the clarity on like what you need to move away from. So for some of you, it is definitely saying goodbye to people. For some of you, it is saying goodbye to like jobs or situations or places. For some of you, it's like a big moving on from the past. And like what I mean by that is like you're kind of seeing how you used to react or behave or think out of the past. Like if you have like a fear of you have a fear of something because it happened in the past or something like that, it made you feel a certain way about not being good enough or unlovable or things like that. Like you're getting the clarity and perception on it, and you're realizing like how all of like certain beliefs, certain thoughts, certain behaviors, like how you've been like acting upon those very subconsciously because of the past trauma. So you're healing like the past trauma, which is allowing you to see things clearly. It's allowing you to see things as they really are. And so you're like moving past that old trauma response. You're moving past that old belief system, or you're able to recognize like, okay, this is an ego fear, or this is an ego, thing trying to sabotage, trying to keep me safe. And I talked about this in the stories yesterday on the page, is a lot of times as you're at the end of a cycle or as you're healing, you'll start feeling more, you might have been feeling confident and empowered and all these things. You'll start feeling more insecure, you'll start feeling disempowered, you'll start feeling all these other things. And it's because you are at the level right now to be able to heal it. You weren't able to deal with those emotions before. You weren't able to deal with that clarity before. You would have ignored it, you would have pushed it away, you would have not believed it, whatever. You're at a different energetic level now that you can actually see it clear, you can actually receive it, and you can actually heal it. So all of the old stuff that's still kind of lingering, where you weren't feeling empowered, where you weren't feeling secure, where you weren't feeling all those things, like, is coming back up, and you're actually releasing and healing it. So you're not going backwards, you're just seeing the past for what it was and letting go of it. So yeah. We got blossom and clarity of belief. Yeah, masculine, feminine. The feminine just feels like she's really like blossoming. You might not be able to see it like outside of you, but internally you're shifting and you're blossoming and you're growing strong, and some of like your ideas and like creativity and things might be coming back a little bit. But it also feels like the feminines are going more into themselves, going more into their intuition, going more into like the inside, and connecting more to that, and realizing that they're actually very strong and powerful, and like they're able to visualize like future stuff for a reason. They're able to kind of see that, and it's helping them actually grow their gifts and grow themselves, which helps collectively do that. It shifts your light and it helps other people shift their light. With the clarity of belief, I love that this came out, because I said the masculine with the butterfly, and boom, we got the butterfly with the masculine. Ooh, it feels so beautiful. This is him listening to his heart. This feels like him letting go of the past and past things that made him kind of scared or made him feel unsafe and things like that, and him actually freeing himself and liberating that so he can step forward into like the new person that he is, that he's kind of transformed into, and become like the person he's always wanted to be, but like was told he shouldn't be, or was treated like he shouldn't be, or something like that. But it definitely feels like this new like fresh energy for the masculines, and them like kind of coming into their power. But like it definitely feels like a healing of their own feminine energy too, so mother wounds, or you know, wounds with females in the past. Clear your vibes. Thank you, Metatron, for clearing my energy fields. Yeah, a lot of you guys feel like you have stagnant energy around you. Clear your energy. You could sage, you could Palo Santo. Actually, I had somebody in here earlier who I had a conversation with, and just, yeah. So I walked around and used my sage spray, and then I lit the Palo Santo. This shit was like on fire and smoking like a motherfucker, which if you've ever used Palo Santo, you know it doesn't really do it for very much. I mean, it was like a fire. Cleanse your energy, like cleanse your home. You could sage spray, Palo Santo, binaural beats. You can actually use like a bell, just kind of make some noise and just kind of shift some energy around, turn some fans on, put like a diffuser on, or certain, you know, calming scents, things like that, and just shift the energy. We got Peaceful Warrior, Archangel Ariel. Thank you, Ariel, for helping me stand my ground with peace. Ooh, I got some good energy with that shit. And we got Trustworthy Friends. Thank you, angels, for surrounding me with people I can trust and love. Okay. Okay, so love it. She's like fucking fierce as fuck. Standing your ground with peace. I love that it says that. We think that we have to become defensive. We have to be guarded. We have to be almost like dominant or territorial. We have to kind of say things in an aggressive way, or a very like just aggressive way, but not really, like to have people not disrespect us or things like that. What's important is to address it one-on-one with the person that is doing it, rather than trying to do it as like a general message. Like, do it directly with that person. And you don't need to be territorial, you don't need to be dominant, you don't need to be all of those extra things. Just stand in your power and set a boundary. And if they don't respect your boundary, then you need to have a conversation with yourself how you're going to handle it, like what you're going to do. But it shouldn't have to be that place. It should be from a place of empowerment, where you can like calmly tell somebody like, look, this is how I feel, this is why I feel like that, you know? And if there's a boundary that needs to be set the boundary, and if not, that's okay. Like, you don't have to be like where you're putting a wall up and keeping people out. And like, I think a lot of times we kind of have false empowerment where we're like, fuck this, I don't care about anybody, I don't care about anything, blah blah. That's not really empowerment. That's really like kind of false empowerment where you're like, oh, I don't care, blah blah. You do actually fucking care though. Like, you do actually care. We all fucking care, okay? Like, we all fucking care. I don't care what anybody says. We're like, no, I don't care about what people say. I don't care. We all have thoughts about that. We all have feelings. There's a difference between having thoughts and feelings or allowing those thoughts and feelings to stop you from actually doing what you want. Huge fucking difference. So, but when you actually come into your true power and you stand up for yourself, you realize that you just need to have a conversation like this. You just need to say, like you have the self-awareness too. The self-awareness of, this is why this is a problem for me. This is why this is an emotion thing for me. This is a problem for me. This is, you know, my perception. Like, let's have a conversation, work together. I mean, if it's something where somebody's hurting you or doing something fucked up, like obviously boundaries, or, you know, walk away. I don't like saying that because I feel like people should make their own choices and decisions. I personally, that's kind of what I was saying earlier with people, is like, there's a difference between walking away from certain things and not certain things. So like for me, if I set a boundary with you and I have to keep reinforcing a boundary with you, why? Like, why are you not respecting what I'm saying? Like, why are you not listening? And to me, those are the type of people I don't really want in my life, because if you're not respecting me, why would I want somebody who doesn't respect me in my life? You know what I mean? And it's a consistent thing, something that's like important. So for me, like, I don't really have that issue because I don't have people like that in my life. Did I used to? Fuck yeah, I did, but I don't anymore because I don't let people like that in my life. When you release those type of people, you have better friends, which brings us to the trustworthy friends card. It feels like some of you guys need to really kind of look at your friend group, like look at the people you surround yourself with, and like see if they're healthy for you, see if they align with your values. And I don't mean like you have to have the same belief systems, because I am anti-religion and I have friends who are super fucking religious, but there's a mutual respect and understanding. They respect what I do, I respect them. Like, there's, you know, it's not about belief systems and perceptions, it's values. It's, you know, is there a mutual like level of respect? Can we have like open conversations with each other, and your opinion is yours and mine is mine, and that's okay. We don't need to, you know, whatever, like, do you treat me with kindness and love? Do you try to uplift me instead of bring me down? Or are you there to support me? And, you know, these are obviously vice versa, but that's what I mean when I say values. And it's like, do they actually align with you? And, you know, not everything has to be perfect, like, we're humans and stuff, but it's something that, like, at a core value, our core needs, our core desires, and what we want, like, there should be some like level of reciprocity, and there should be some level of respect and trust and stuff. So yeah, anyway, I hope that this helps you guys. I hope you guys all have an awesome day.